This is Sophie Aldred with The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, my name's Sylvester McCoy. Welcome to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, fellow Whovians, and welcome to The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I'm your host, Paparazzo Dave Chapman, and that was Sophie Aldred and Sylvester McCoy. What do those two people have in common? Well, let me tell you. No, it is not that they were both on Doctor Who at the same time. It is the fact that they both share a birthday with Mr. Christian Bale. Christian's not on the show tonight because Christian is off enjoying being 50. He is moving into an entirely new century, and probably, if he was watching, would hate that I just threw that specific picture up. So, ha ha. The rest of us, however, will be here doing The Girl in the Fireplace. A wonderful episode. We have talked to Sophia Myles, who is, of course, Madame de Pompadour in the past. You can go back in and check those out. But of course, I'm not here alone. I do have a slightly smaller than usual team, but nevertheless a wonderful team. So let's start with one of our favorite people in the background normally, who's come to the front for a little bit. Gadget.
Hi guys. Hanging in there. What is this now? The third time you guys are seeing me?
I think so, yeah. So we're happy to have you out here. So
and I wonder how many people saw this episode, because this was cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great episode. But spoilers. We'll get to that later.
Yep.
Next up, we've got, of course, Tom. Hey.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing today, Tom?
I'm waiting for YouTube to pop up. Okay, I'm still kind of blurry. Can I fix it? Can I fix it with the sonic screwdriver?
To be fair, you look fine to me. Audience, if you make a mention here, if Tom looks really pixelated or weird, let us know, because he's having some problems on his end, but it doesn't seem to be traveling through to us.
YouTube looks good.
Up again?
Yeah, and rounding out the team, Michelle, returning from the TARDIS archives. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy birthday, Christian, Sophie, and Sylvester.
Yay! We got all
Did
sorts
we sing
of
happy birthday?
Yeah,
we can. You know we can now because it's in public domain now. So
this is true.
Oh, right.
Let's not do that.
Okay.
There's a terrible plan. Everybody who's not on camera, so all of you that are sitting at home, sing happy birthday in 3, 2, 1. The rest of us are not going to join in. All right. There, we all sang. Or at least everybody at home did. Thank you. We appreciate that. Have yourself a fun time. Everyone's wishing Christian a great.
I'm loving this. Yeah.
Audience. Except for Tom, who's just giggling. The hashtag king is hashtagging as he does. Hello to everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Jim was nice enough. Jim has been great. He popped into my last few streams and popped into the random pre-show that I did here just before this episode. So I'm glad. Thank you, Jim. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, you asked this just as I was leaving just as I ended the pre-show, wondering what star Sophia picked at the end of the show. That's a good question. So the three of you, at the end of your reviews, I want you to answer that question. What star do you think that Madame de Pompadour chose? All of you in the audience, go ahead, give us your rating, 1 to 10 TARDISes, and tell us what star you think it was that she went to see, or planet, or whatever where do you think she was going to do this? Because we can. Oh, yes, of course, it is a belated birthday to Jonathan Frakes and Tom. Jonathan's going to be in Edmonton next month, so hopefully I'll get a chance to work with him some more. Everyone's all here. Tom looks all right. Looks good here, Tom. Happy birthday next month to Artful Roger. Happy birthday, Christian. All right. So I'm going to make a note in here. Tom, 1 to 10 TARDISes. What do you give The Girl in the Fireplace?
Holy moly, I did the review, but I forgot to write the number. Okay, so...
All right, Gadget, what number do you give it? We'll give Tom a chance to do math.
Actually, 10 out of 10.
10? All right. All right.
She wants to go last.
Yeah, apparently. I'm the host. I'll go last. Ha, ha, ha. Michelle, what do you give it?
9 out of 10.
All right. Tom?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm not going to sneak in 9.5. I'm not going to do that.
It's not the Price is Right.
On the price, I'll give it a 9.1. No, I'll say 8.
8.
I'm not going any lower. I'll stick it at 8.
All right. Well, we'll just bring you right up now, and you can tell us why you say 8.
Because I just ate and I'm quite full. And So he just kind of
Terrible reason. Why did we bring him on the show? We're just going to ditch him right out of there. No. We'll bring him back in.
Okay. Oh, dang it! I should put some acne spots on. Okay, so I say 8 because it's well, we love Moffat, and basically this is the start of Moffatism. I think that was the terminology, because it's basically the empty child set in France. The same idea that was in. I still love Empty Child. Still love this one. I'm just pointing out because everyone else gives it a high score. Everyone gives their reasons why it's so perfect. I got to bring everyone down and grounded. Say, well, it's time to nitpick. So I say it's the Empty Child set in France. The same idea in a new story. I mean, George Lucas has done it. I've done it. I don't have a problem with it, but it's been brought up. The repeat of ideas later with the 11th Doctor, but we will, of course, talk about that later. Number 2, is this too much to combine the villains? By itself, being stuck on a ship, we had a whole horror movie. The robots are tearing apart the people and putting them together, but we decided to cross it with a romance. Horror movie with Casanova, which is still fine. You know, still loving the show. It gives it the balance.
Haramity.
Haramity.
Haramity. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Sorry, babes. See, number 3, the idea of alien technology doing its job without understanding what it's doing. And that's the truth. It's trying to fix the ship. So what can it do? It's taking the parts that are available. And because the ship, as we know at the end, is the Madame de Pompadour, go back to the source and the ship will be working perfectly. I have not seen Romulus, but I heard it was a good movie. I'm basing on the same thing. Time window, that was cool. The fact, here's one. I heard that this story was supposed to be put in earlier because, as we see, we have the Doctor falling for Rose, but then in this one, oh, forget Rose. This is Madame de Pompadour. I'm going to snog her instead. And then I'm bringing Rose and Tin Dog, Mickey the idiot, together on an old adventure. It's like, it's like, and when he comes back, so to save them, so, oh yeah, I didn't forget about you, but I'm going to go back and have some more fun in France. Like, you're trying to build a relationship with Rose, and then you jump onto the Madam, and then you jump back. It's like, okay, Betty Casanova. So that kind of like, development of his time with Rose. Number 6, the connection happens, which I can relate to love at first sight and be heartbroken. Oh, that was a personal note to myself. Oh, that's supposed to be my own thing. Anyway, always heartbroken. Number 7, Rose and Mickey's misadventures, which does work at the beginning, but then drops off when they leave again and again. It's like, oh yeah, we're not together anymore, but yeah, let's go have fun. That's still understandable. You can still be fine with the X. I do. Number 8, the despair of how he leaves Renee behind, but it is how the story has to be concluded. Yes, how is it? Well, I got to get back to the spaceship. I got to get back to see what Mickey and Rose are doing. So I'm just going to hook up there and then jump right back to find out. Oh, years have passed. You could have taken her with you, but the story has to end in the sad way. So it's understandable. Number 9, the character development, Rose. Yeah, so that's it. Lovely story, but you got to have little bits and pieces here to think about how it goes. The character development. It's like, okay, you're in love with Rose, but oh, you jump with her. Oh, you jump back with Rose. That kind of screws up people's heads. So that was my main thing there.
All right.
Otherwise, it was absolutely hilariously fun.
There you go. Where do you think that she decided to go? Where did Renault say she was going to go after?
Barcelona. Oh.
Barcelona. All right. That's not that's a very far away star. It seems. That's okay. You can go anywhere, anytime.
Right over there.
No judgment. All right. So,
how about Las Vegas? Go see my boss.
You could do that. Vegas is definitely a whole another world. I think we can all agree on that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, there is one Canadian Prime Minister claims he saw space aliens in Vegas.
Yeah, but that's just what you do.
Is that just a Canadian thing, or I mean,
maybe I don't know. I've certainly
where would an alien hide? Vegas,
right?
In plain sight, hide in Vegas. No one will question you.
He's on the corner.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
The adult flyers. He's on the corner slapping them and handing them, trying to hand them to you.
Exactly. Getting the pictures taken. Got to get that money in somehow. You know, at the time you couldn't just go jump onto a TV show. You know, couldn't go just be a random doctor in some small town or something like that'd be crazy. What kind of alien would do that? Whole other show. With that being,
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Back to the doctor.
Oh, Barcelona, the planet, not the Spanish city. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Roger.
Time Lord Boy, loved this one. Says great episode. Artful Roger also gives it a 9.8. Gotta love Arthur the horse and the clockwork villains that cooked the entire crew for parts, which is pretty sick. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. So next we had Michelle giving it a 9. What kept it from being a perfect 10 for you? What worked? What didn't, Michelle?
Okay, great episode. I do love it. For me, what kept it from being perfect is I also agree with the Reverend. I'm not the biggest fan of the romance with the Doctor. I'm old school in the fact that I believe no hanky-panky in the TARDIS, particularly between the Doctor and his companions. And you think about the fact that he's been in and out of this little girl's room since she was like 11 and keeps popping up. In today's world, it's a little creepy. Some of the romance aspect. I mean, even in the 18th century, having a guy in an 11-year-old girl's room would not be that cool. And she immediately goes and kisses him when she just sees him. Just kind of seemed odd. Also, I would have loved if they had played more with the real Madame de Pompadour's backstory. She did live an interesting, sad life. She did die at the age of 42 from tuberculosis. That's what killed her. She also had 2 children who died young. So she lost both of her children, and she was in many ways the uncrowned Queen of France. And after she passes away, Louis XV is never quite the same. And many people argue he's never was as good as a king without her. So I would like to see a little bit more on Renette's backstory, how she got to be Madame de Pompadour. But again, it's a fun episode. It's very inventive episode. You don't see episodes like this typically anything but Doctor Who. So it's a very classic Doctor Who episode. I love the horse, love the clockwork droids. They're creepy, but also kind of fits in with the 18th century, which were fascinated by mechanical beings. And we have some in England, they have these beautiful mechanical clockwork devices that still work. There's one that's a swan that looks like it's eating fish, and it's just gorgeous. So this idea that these alien beings are kind of masking themselves in and looking like 18th clockwork characters, that's very accurate for the time period, and a kind of a fun play on it. I love the horse. I love Arthur. It's so funny. I was watching it on Sunday morning, and my mom came down, and she came down just as the section shows the horse when he's following him on the spaceship, and she just watched the rest of the episode and thought it was a delight. I just love his banter with the horse when he tells, quit following you, I'm not your mother. And then when Rose tells the doctor that he can't keep the horse, and he goes, "Well, why not? I let you keep Mickey." I think that's pretty funny, because last week Mickey realized that he was the 10 dog. So yeah, he's the third wheel. All in all, the costumes gorgeous, the settings gorgeous, very much accurate for the time period. I enjoyed that. Just a fun episode. And just a truly unique Doctor Who episode.
Valid.
Yes.
No, it's. I agree with a lot of that. Time Lord Boy mentions, it is a bit weird. Definitely with the whole 11-year-old thing. And
definitely today, especially with our modern sensibilities, I mean, those things maybe not so much we would think about it in 2006. I think we're just a little more aware on things now. And like today, it'd be like, oh, you're in your 11-year-old bedroom.
I think she was 7.
Or 7, or
7 and 11. I think.
Yeah, I mean, just the idea of having a fully adult man in a minor child's bedroom, even in the olden days when they would have some weird marriages, but even this time period, that was kind of seen as
Yeah, for me, as far as the he's known her whole life. He's known her for 5 minutes, and so I can certainly see if you 11-year-old her and grown-up her, there would be a very large disconnect, right? It's been 5 minutes. This is 2 entirely different people, not a child. So I think I can kind of see that as a bit of a mitigating factor as far as that part of it goes.
Yeah,
right? Whatever happened in her life in the intermediate time is a whole other story. But yeah, as far as he's going, it's been a few minutes as an entirely different person that he didn't know who it was at the beginning, right?
True. Yeah, I mean,
so it's not like he's like, "Oh, look, you're legal now."
That's what saves it. This is what saves it. But it's one of those things is where we have to almost be like, we're not saying we're grasping at straws, but we have to kind of justify it. And beyond that, it's like, that's what saves it from being total creep factor.
Yeah, no, that's valid. Nico Bat gives it an 8. Loves the clockwork droids, the wardrobes, the mask. Everything about them was fascinating. Comparing Nikki to a pet was hilarious. And the whole joke about the daiquiris is true. It's true. So what we're going to
think of when the 12th Doctor introduces the word dude several centuries too early.
Yeah. It is not the first time that this has happened. That's for certain.
I quote the line about the gift shop, because I work in a museum. I quote the line from the 12th Doctor about you're going to build a visitor center here all the time.
Fair enough. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to run a quick commercial break and go from there. So we will be right back, folks. Stay tuned and become part of the legend.
Are you a movie nerd? Do you collect VHS, DVDs, CDs, records, and so much more? Are you looking for clothing from 1940s to 2000s? Do you need cosplay or themed outfits? Come to Ducky's Vintage. We have it all for all budgets, located at the Oviedo Mall right off of the 417. Ducky's Vintage for those born in the wrong decade.
Hey everybody, welcome back to an all-new X's for Show, your premiere show for streaming media content.
A great creative team and a great concept that is years in the making.
That's certainly one of the interesting things about this as a program.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
The silliest version of every single one.
Hot names, even hotter ideas.
Everybody is so even-keeled. That is a nonsense thing that you just said.
I'm not wrong. I've seen all the films.
I get what you're saying. I hate it.
It's really ugly to call that a genius on air.
Nobody screams at each other and goes,
I will fight you!
Wow, what a great moment for our show.
Truly, we did it.
This would be a great jumping on point for you.
2,000 episodes in.
Every weekend and Wednesdays.
Shows no signs of stopping.
You can check the show out at X's for Show.
Come on. I mean, we've got a show, baby. Just, you gotta trust us. It's gonna be good.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Now, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right, we are back. And of course, I'm pulling something else up in the Calgary Fringe Festival. It basically sold out its run there. And come on, computer, catch up. And it also basically it sold out the first half of its run in Edmonton before the festival opened, and the rest of the run by day 2. So these are the times for the Vancouver Fringe Festival. So if you are in Vancouver at the beginning of September, go check it out. Get your tickets early because, as I said, it is essentially sold out the last 3 festivals in a row. Wonderful puppet show. Yonomi comes from Tokyo, and we'll be heading back to Tokyo after the Vancouver Fringe. So check that out, please. If you do, tell her that I said hi, because she's wonderful. She gave me this little bandana towel thingy as well, so I've been throwing that on as a hello to her. All right. What's the? Sorry, message squirrel. Anyhow, next up is apparently Frobisher.
Now you make me want to go get my babies that are in my box over there.
Mr. Fibbles is not happy.
I have drabbits. I have drabbits that are in a box right behind me.
I've got a hedgehog. I've got a banana.
Actually, maybe this will make everybody happy.
Always have a banana.
Yes, you do.
Important lesson from this thing.
Especially this episode.
Yeah.
And Squishy's over here.
I got George Washington.
We got so lots of stuff.
Yeah. Now, here's the funny part. I started putting this on because I go to the anime conventions, right? Who knew that I had something in common with our last episodes of the new season? Somebody stuck on top of a TARDIS.
Love it.
Yeah, like this is crazy.
Mark is still down from the flu from his last event, Wonk Fest. That's unfortunate. So Gadget,
yes,
you gave this a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, this is
Talk to
like
me.
one of my favorite episodes because I like history and I love anything that does with the royal family and anything, like when it's the French royal family or like the British royal family and stuff. Especially that she was very smart and not conniving smart, but smart to the way her status was, that she can manipulate and also give, like the way Madame Pompadour was, like the good guidance to get things going. Like it was her ideas, but under a male facade and everything with King Louis and with everything and stuff, like that, as well as how the Doctor said that now we're part of history and everything. But what got me was she could read the Doctor's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I was like, is she something more than just the brain of a ship? Does she have something that they really wanted? Was it really the brain for the ship, or was it her abilities?
Ooh.
And everything. So I was like, as I was watching it, because yes, it reminds me of something I had read when I was a kid about a story about an imaginary friend visiting, and the person grows up and the imaginary friend grows with them. But I saw it as like, did time play a part in it? Did her powers play a part? Was she, like the Doctor, a Time Lord? Because how did she know his name and his secrets? And was she always like this? This is how she got her ability to be the confidant, to be the courtesan. I cannot pronounce that word. Courtesan for everything. Like how her temperament, everything. Did the Doctor help because he was part of history? Give her that courage, saying, "Ooh, let me be strong." Because all my nightmares, even nightmares have nightmares.
Valid.
It was very good. I laughed at the funny scenes and everything and stuff. Mickey is just comedy relief and everything. Like when he calls him Mickey Mouse and all the other crazy things throughout the series and everything and stuff like that. Eventually, he became like a plastic Ken doll. Once
that was the very first episode. That's why I hate Rose. That.
Yeah. That's why I think this is out of order, but not out of order, because it fits perfectly with the last episode, them traveling, because it's 3,000 years later. Because when I first looked at the episode, I was like, oh, are we getting a horror episode or a Halloween episode? And the next thing I know, we're like, okay, what happened here? And then we get time travel. And then a history lesson, and then this and everything. And it was sad that she did, the way her life was, pass away because of things and stuff. Like, she had a lot to give people. Like, she wasn't a full-blown like mistress of him, but she was more like his partner in crime, his more, you know what I mean? And then to have the Doctor throw into that mix, you see the love there. You do see that first he looked at her as like a caring child he was protecting, and then he went to do what he had to do, and then it turned into the teenage crush, and then it turned into what had happened, and she wasn't ready yet and everything. And then to find out that because of an AI program malfunctioning and everything, they ended up wanting to go back in time to get her brain to fix the ship, seeing that would be the reset the circuits.
Okay. No, that all makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The other comedy stuff was just a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. And where do you think she picked? Where would she want to go if she had come in? Actually,
he's like me, where like a dreamer and everything, and always dealing with stuff like that, and a little psychic and stuff. The 7 sisters, the Pleiades.
All right.
Go to the Pleiades, yeah.
And Michelle, you threw yours at because I totally forgot to ask you. You mentioned it in the comments, but go ahead, tell us where do you think she would go?
I think she would have gone the moon. The moon in the 18th century was very fascinating. They're very fascinated with the moon and never was inhabited by creatures or not. And so I think she would have picked the moon.
Okay.
But I wanted to know one thing with this, though. Did this inspire the Amy and 11, waiting for the imaginary friend and everything, Raggedy Man and stuff like that? And you said about Hanky Panky on the TARDIS. How do we get River? Yeah.
Because Moffat, they all tend to recycle their ideas after a while.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the one problem with Modern Who is they only have like 5 ideas and then they start recycling them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Artful Rod would be like if the 10th had courted Marie Antoinette instead of Renette. I mean, keep in mind, got married to Queen Elizabeth.
Marie Antoinette
was she was the other thing.
All sorts of other, historical figures that the Doctor has been involved with. So
historically, Marie Antoinette was not that bright. She did not have the greatest education, and also she was more sheltered sexually than some of the other queens. That's why I'm not sure if I buy it if she ever had an affair with von Fersen, Axel von Fersen, because she was much more sheltered. Antoinette, and when she was raised at the Austrian court, and that's when she first came to France. She was so shocked at how sexually promiscuous things were because her mother, the Archduchess Maria Theresa of Austria, kept a pretty moral court. So I don't think it would have quite been the same. And she was sweet, but a little bit of an airhead. The real Marie Antoinette.
I would say rather than an airhead, she was more of a metalhead, as we discovered a few weeks ago at the Olympics. Oh, come on. Gojira was one of the best parts of that opening.
It's 250 years old and still.
I want to push the button. I want to push the button.
You can't. Fine. I muted myself out of it. Just for Tom. And for those curious, I shall also pointed out that the strawberry daiquiri was invented in 1898.
Okay.
Michelle knows a lot of random history things.
I googled that one to be fair. I knew it was the 1890s, but I just wanted to be fair because it was around the time of the Spanish-American War.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I wish Dr. Freedom was on the panel. He's been a bit busy in his own world.
Yeah.
He's got his own stuff that he's dealing with, so I'm sure someday maybe we'll see Dr. Freedom come back to the channel. We'll see. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I'm not. But it certainly would be be nice to see him again because we don't get to see him very often. Oh, I almost forgot. There was one other thing that someone else wanted to say a little something to us.
Hey, I'm Sophia Myles, and this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hey everyone, it's Christian from the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. The TARDIS and as I am broadcasting this little video to you, we're both at elections poll, and we are working the primaries. So if you haven't gotten the vote out, you only got a few hours left, especially if you're watching this live. So make sure you get to the polls right away and make your vote count. And if you're lucky, you might see me out there somewhere. I rated Girl in the Fireplace 8.9. Maybe because I didn't want to be the first one to go out there. But I thought this was a really great time, especially the dynamic between Madame de Pompadour and the 10th Doctor. Especially the scenes where the spaceship was confused about the 10th Doctor. About Madame de Pompadour, and how that worked out in the sequence. I do love that story. Not a big fan of the romantic, as I've mentioned in previous episodes of the Traveling TARDIS, but for some reason I kind of let this one slide. Especially, I'm a little bit concerned about, the Rose thing. And we just came out of school reunion. And here we go for another love fest for the Doctor. And Sophia Myles is just awesomely gorgeous, but that's another story. I just like the story because it really was, you could see that the Doctor and Rose were kind of growing together, but then when you really think about it in the end, the Doctor can't have a love interest. Everything that the Doctor tries to connect and say, yeah, I'm going to, you're reminded that he is the space god and that he keeps regenerating and that he changes faces and he can never have somebody as long as he wants to be in the TARDIS, especially a human like Rose or Madame de Pompadour or Sarah Jane for that matter. I love this episode. It's one of those episodes that if it's just playing even 3/4 of the way, I'll continue to watch it. I do love the clockwork droids. Those things are really menacing. And to tell you the truth, I can't see it. I'm really, scared by things that you can't see the eyes inside and then you can't see the clockwork droids' eyes, and their weapons are these mechanical arms and stuff. I just thought they were really cool and they fit the period so well. And they could be intertwined between the spaceship trying to hack up Madame de Pompadour and, in present day France down here, their present day France. So I just really had a good time with this episode. It's one of those episodes I like watching over and over again when there's a marathon somewhere on a cable channel or now on the streaming services these days. So I give it an 8.9. I really enjoyed the ride. I do like Alpha the horse. That was a nice little twist. There were some hokey moments, especially when the Doctor breaks the mirror with the horse and jumps through, but it did give it a question of, can the Doctor, I think the biggest question about this episode is, can the Doctor find peace and solace if he were to be grounded, if he were to just spend one moment in time for the rest of his life? Where would it be? I think that's a good question I could ask the panel if you guys want to take that on. And especially anybody in the chats, please let us know. Here's the question. If the Doctor were to spend the rest of his life in one place, where would you pick it? Would it be with Donna and Rose and her family? Or do you think it would be somewhere else? I'd like to know. And I will see you all when we get back next week. Thank you so much for being with us. And Dave, back to you.
Happy birthday, Christian! Yeah, I had to put this picture back up again because that Tom. This is everyone make a face like Tom because he'll screenshot this. There you go. Have fun with that one, Tom. Okay, now I gotta get rid of this picture. Where's the right button? Bye, Christian. So yeah, Kristen was kind enough to send that in. Quality was a little bit not so great. Not sure what happened. I did not have a chance to watch it before we went live. I almost forgot that it even existed. I did. I also did, just not in time to, like I said, to check on the sound or anything like that.
Time. What is time traveling, and you don't have the time. Oh, for God's sakes, Gallifrey!
Right.
Gallifrey.
I'm out of Birds of Prey. Sorry. Anyhow,
stands.
Don't forget that Artful's reminding us that 11 almost got accidentally engaged to Marilyn Monroe. Now, I had a thought. Give or take 100 years, the Doctor tends to like this era a lot. Madame de Pompadour, Elizabeth, yes, there's 100 years difference between them, but close enough at this point. Rogue, something about this general era all just kind of disarms him, I think. And I just kind of thought about that as Christian was talking. It's like most of that pseudo romance has happened in that vague area, of time. So that was an interesting thought.
It's the elegance, the dressing up,
It's also the time where what we think we know about love comes from, and how to court, and how to love, and the romance of it, and the music, and the poetry, and the courtly love. So the ideas that we have today, what a relationship should look like, comes from this era. The language of it, the symbolism of it,
the courting of thing, like you court, just dive into anything.
Yeah,
because courtly love was all about. It was one way to keep people's hormones in check when they're in a court, and there is a preponderance of men versus women, was how to flirt but understand that you couldn't go to first base with the woman. So you can flirt with the queen, or you can flirt with somebody that's not in a social circle. You get the romance out, but you know that you can't touch her.
The one time I don't have my fan by me, I could show you how the fan. Remember they did the fan where you would open it certain ways and everything? Yeah, like you come hither, or you turned it upside down. The one time I don't know where it is. It was
the Tudor court there was more men than women, and she went. And historian Alison Weir calls it the hothouse atmosphere of the Tudor court. And so one way to get your passions out was through the romantic language of it all.
Can't find a fan, but I did find a Sonic. A dead one.
No, yeah, that's okay. It's not too bad.
Like everyone calls it my Cyberman one. Really, I was like, this is crazy. The one time I don't have the fan, we could have used it.
Urkel's saying, to answer Christian's question, that 15 might want to spend some time with Ruby's family. That would be, I think we're going to see more of that.
I always see the Doctor as like the professor or the curator. I always kind of agreed with the 11th Doctor, where he goes, I always thought I was going to retire and go take care of bees a la Sherlock Holmes. I always love when he's sitting there and goes, I would be the curator. I would be the great curator. I kind of see him in a little office,
Isn't he the curator though?
Huh?
Isn't he the curator though?
Well, I think he is the curator. I do. I do see him going on. I think personally, I believe the Doctor is the curator, but I do see him kind of going off into that curator-esque because, though I'm not officially a curator, I kind of am, and it is at the same time very solitary. You do have a very cluttered desk. My desk always looks like a bomb just went off on it.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I could also see, again, it all kind of depends on the Doctor too.
Yeah, which generation we're on. Yeah.
Yeah, like 12, I would have could have easily seen him continue on as the professor in university for another century, just to confuse everybody.
The 4th Doctor too. I could see him going into Cambridge or Eden in his little.
Exactly. 11. There is. Someone did do a couple of short comic strips of this, but I could definitely see a spin-off of 11 and the Pawns, a la, a 1980s sitcom. A little family sitcom. That's what I would like to see. I could totally see that happening. And yeah, somebody did that. It was called The Pawns, and that was the premise of it, was just a comedy version of that little family. So as for me and my rating, this is a hard one to rate for me because it is there's good. It's a great episode. I love the episode. I love so much about the episode, and it is all those it's the little things that a lot of people have brought up. I bring it down. So I give it an 8.5. I again. And it's all little things. It's, but I love Arthur the Horse. Why is there Arthur the Horse? I hate Mickey just in general, but his little, commando roles. Like, I know this is comedy relief. It fits his character, but also, really. So it's me being picky. It's me being picky and petty, and it is a low 8.5 is a low rating, despite, I think I don't disagree with people who give it a 9 and a 10 by any stretch. It's just a matter of where do you weigh those details, right? I did love the time windows and the fact that is a concept. So much of this era comes back right now. With the time windows at the end of season 1, right? You get a little bit more of an idea of what that is and how that works watching this episode. I don't remember if this episode was on the list, because they released a list of these are the episodes you really should watch prior to the finale of season 1, and I don't remember if this was on the list or not.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it might have been. I know there was a longer list as well, so it might have been. But as far as the time windows, this is a good one to watch to kind of get an idea of how those work in context of all of this, and being able to travel and being able to see and all of the things that are all of the things there. Did River marry Song? Words are hard.
No, that's a fact. They had the hand fast.
Yeah, exactly. It is. I said I always waffle. And if there's a moment, one moment I'm like, nah, this is a 10. I love this episode. And there's like, oh, that thing. I did love the drunk scene. Absolutely love the drunk scene. Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous. It's crazy. And
was he really drunk?
Sucker. Yeah, no, it was the perfect. It was perfect comedy. It was a perfect guise to trick them. I love the Clockwork villains. It gets interesting. Eventually, we'll also get our way to, in another 5 years, we'll have made our way up to Capaldi. But they do come back in at the beginning of the Capaldi era in Deep Breath, and we get a slightly different take on them. It kind of had a thought that by that point, they're the reverse of the Cybermen. Because in that, they're starting to add human parts as opposed to removing them and becoming less human. And the 12th Doctor says, every society eventually gets to Cybermen. Would that Clockwork society, because it kind of is, even though it was intended to not be, would it eventually make its way back around to removing some of those biological components, or moving more into, and we get Clockwork Cybermen? And I would like to see that, because it would just be kind of an interesting take on the Cybermen.
Which model are we up to now on Cybermen?
I have no idea. There's so many different versions. I want to say there's 5, 6, 7 through the series. There's at least 4, I think, in Modern Who.
So that might be maybe the 10th model, like the 10th.
Yeah, easily, and that's not counting comics and audio and stuff like that. There's some great videos out there that break down the history of the Cybermen. And I think and they're all 15 to 45 minutes long. Like it is interesting. Yeah, the half-faced man may have the answer. Exactly. Exactly. The other new Cyberman, just a sidetrack because I'm a squirrel. I could totally see the dots from Dot and Bubble creating Cybermen. And suddenly we have a Cyberman with one glowing red eye. That is the Dot. It would be an interesting take. But yeah, it's just there's so much good in this episode, and you just have to. It's an era where you just have fun with it. You don't have to take things seriously. You just enjoy yourself. Sit down, watch it. Watch David Tennant be David Tennant, doing what David Tennant does best. Sophia Myles is delightful in that part. She's a wonderful actress. And like I said, go check out our interview with her. She was fabulous and wonderful. It's like I said, can you make the case that this is a 10? Clearly, yeah. Yes, you can. Not 9 10s are I totally accept that. That's I'm giving it. I'm being harsh, giving it 8.5. That's not a bad rating at all, or not intended to be. So, I honestly would have liked to have seen more of this storyline. I would still like to see more of this storyline, but I would love to have seen more of it before we get to Capaldi. And there was a short. There was a Doctor Who short about it, and I know they come back in a couple of books or comics or something. But I would like to have seen more of them on TV, because they're this design specifically is gorgeous.
But yeah, to the cosplayers at all the Who conventions, they do wonderful work on those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some even have them ticking, and it's like, how did you get them to tick?
Ooh, that's yeah.
I think like seeing them against the 11th Doctor would have been fun too.
Mm-hmm.
That man in the box energy.
Ooh, definitely. I think it would have been. all of Doctors Against It would be interesting. They have the potential to be a Cyberman Dalek level creation
because they are creepy.
Yeah, they're creepy. They've got a rich backstory of why they exist. They do have a similar backstory to the Cybermen in a lot of ways, in that you could see any society going, oh, well, AI is going to be terrible. Let's bring down the robots and build it clockwork, right? A clockwork creature is not going to lose power if a spaceship loses power. They just it's easy enough to wind them up or teach them to wind each other up, right? And just they are not requiring. They're a good backup.
Teach them that Soylent Green is not a good thing.
Yes.
It's people.
I forget, they are based in. There is a clockwork computing theory, and I can't remember who did a lot of work on it, but that's what kind of informed a lot of how they work. And I cannot remember the name off the top of my head, but it's awesome. Yes, we could totally
Ada Lovelace. Are we talking about Ada Lovelace?
Her, and there was someone else as well that did a lot of work in it. Anyhow, doesn't matter.
Where did the horse end up? Did he go with the TARDIS or did he go with the ship?
Right, exactly. Like there's so many options there. As far you can do anything, Tom. No, you can't. You have to do what I tell you. Do what I tell you, Tom. Yes, they were back in breath. That was the first Capaldi episode. That's exactly correct. That was a rough. I did rewatch that episode, and it really could have just been split into 2 episodes. Quite frankly, I think both sides of that episode deserved more than they got. But it was a lovely episode. But we're not here to review that one.
And that was the episode that got me into Doctor Who, so I'll give it points.
There you go. No, that's kind of everything. As far where do I think they would go?
To get to Capaldi, what did they do?
They crashed in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and then took the long way around because that was a theme there.
They crashed and they helped spearhead the Industrial Revolution.
Were they hanging out with Rogue?
No, I think who knows? They can do anything. I have no idea. I think she would just want to go to the farthest star she could find. Go to that one and just point. Second star to the left, straight on top. But yeah, so I think that's about it. Tom, where can we find you? What do you got going on over the next week or so?
You can always catch me on youtube.com/@Reverend or just type in Tasty Cake and you'll find me there. I will plan to do some more videos. I'm grateful that there's no pixelation as there was in my last live stream. So live stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Universal Time. Who knows what I'll talk about, but I will always be talking about something because I am who I am. That's your boy, Tasty Cake.
We can't shut you up unless I take you out of the stream.
Oh.
And Michelle, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Michelle Hamilton Author, and also the TARDIS Archives. And I think I'm going to be on the Legend. I'm going to be on the Sphere on Sunday.
Excellent. And Gadget, I know you've got something coming up.
Yep. This weekend, guys, if you're around, I should have Squishy with me. Don't hesitate to stop by. It's at the Javits Center this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If any of you guys are big Whovian fans, I mean, we have a Doctor Who anime. It has been floating around and everything, so I'd love to see your version of that there so we can get you as our companions in our companions folders and pictures on our website and everything. But trust me, guys, it's going to be fun. If you are coming to Anime NYC, catch me. I will get you on camera, and you can tell us how much you love The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Yay! Everyone loves it. Everyone loves the Traveling TARDIS.
And you can always find me Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, well, X and everything. Also saying hi to a bunch of my friends in the VO world and everything. They have a couple of good animes coming out as well, which I'm going to try to help promote and everything. Otherwise, I'm always around. I'm always talkative, and you guys can always find me and start a conversation. And maybe we'll bring you in someday, right?
Exactly.
Right there, we'll bring them into here to have their opinions, maybe a cast opinion with a fan opinion.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All the options, right?
Yep.
For me, before this, I said I'd be doing some more For Northwood tonight. I'm still going to do that. It might be a little bit after 9 because I forgot that I'm going to be on Earth Station Who recording that in an hour. So check that out on Friday when that podcast releases. I don't think it's a live one. It might be a live one, but I don't think it is. We're talking about Starcrossed. You can also find me this weekend at Falcon 37 in Calgary, big board gaming convention. One of the things I'll be doing is I will be giving my top 9 abstract games live with Melanie from Mel's Board Game Room. So I've got some great fun planned there. I'm going to have a ton of games with me as well, trying to play. So come by, say hello, and check it out. It's a fairly affordable gaming convention. So if you're in the Calgary area, definitely come out. It's worth it.
We got one big local with everybody. Find a place that everybody from here can meet up.
We've managed to do it once. We almost managed to do it in Florida, and I've managed to meet I almost connected with you. I sort of connected you with New York City. We just weren't able to.
Yeah, almost. It wasn't for.
Met up with Nick. I've tried to meet up with as many people as I can as I've traveled, but yeah.
One day we're gonna get our own little convention, and we'll get everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we will be helping out with Ancient Con coming up as well. Oops, now I've got the thing covering the thing, and pushing the wrong buttons. No comments, go away. There we go. Ancient Con, September 13th to the 15th. A bunch of people. I will not be, but Christian will be there. Dalek Hal will be there. Several more will be there. Check that out. There is also happening this weekend, Long Island Who Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So all sorts of fun stuff happening over the next little bit. Check it out.
Yep.
And until next week, where's my buttons? That's the button I wanted. Please like, subscribe, share, all of that, and become part of the legend. Tony, take us out.